we're all able to help each other, like on the help side with the tall girls and everything. I'm really proud of them.
Yeah, like she said, we really had to focus on boxing out the most tonight because they were really big. We all just came together and got it together.
Malia, earlier this week you mentioned you didn't know what it would feel like when you win state. What does it feel like?
I guess I had this picture in my head all week, like before I'd go to bed, of what it would look like when I win state. And it wasn't the exact picture, obviously, but it's pretty close.
What was the thought in your head?
It's amazing. It still hasn't sunk in yet. Like me and Calissa were saying by each other, and I was like, did we really just win? Like, I can't believe that it happened.
Calista, this being your last game for Central Noble, you've had a long career at the school. How does it feel to go out on top like this and know that you won't get to play with this group of girls again?
It's awesome, and I'm not really thinking about not playing with them again because it was just a great way to end the game in my years too.
Coach, what does it mean to accomplish something like this for your city and community?
Well, I'll tell you this: our community has been supportive for the last 2 to 3 years. No matter if it's just the regular season or it's the postseason, they've been really good to these girls. A lot of stuff behind the scenes that these girls don't necessarily see. Very supportive. I'm happy for these girls.
Coach, Winchester shot 40% in the first half, under 25 in the second. Was it an X's and O's difference, or?
No, I don't think it was at all. I think what happened is we got caught up in where there was a lot of stoppage of play. Once we were able, and part of that was our fault, once we were able to force them into a little bit lower percentage shots from the outside, it helped us rebound a little bit better. They're huge. They're a lot bigger. They're a lot bigger in person than they are on film. And then it allowed us what we thought was going to be the key to the game. It allowed us to get out in transition. And I thought Sydney did a good job of pushing it there during that third quarter. We made a run on them. They looked tired, and we did what we do all season. We get just enough cushion to take the lead, and then we hold on to the ball, and hopefully good things happen, and so far they have.
Sydney, that ball along the baseline there when you guys were up by 2, and they almost got the turnover there. Was there any thought in your mind when you got it back to pull it back out, or did you tell you had a lane there?
I was just kind of, I don't know, I was looking to pass it out, and then she hit it back, so I didn't really have anyone in front of me, so I just kind of shot it up and said a prayer.
And that was a jump stop shot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Juniors, how long do you enjoy this, and when do you start thinking about repeat or next year?
I think we'll probably take a little bit of time off, but usually we start everything again back in April, so we'll start grinding again in April.
Coach, freshmen were very impactful for you. What do you see from your 2 freshmen?
Again, with us, it starts defensively. That's the one area we look at. Lydia Andrews does an outstanding job of getting in a defensive stance, and I get mad at her an awful lot because she reaches a lot, but she also gets a lot of deflections. Bridget does what she does. Bridget did a really good job of looking to score tonight. They do just enough to take the pressure off of these 3 here.
Coach, tell me, with your lone senior here, what has she meant to you and to this team?
Well, first of all, at least in our program, she's the winningest athlete in school history, which I think is awesome. I don't know if you knew that or not. So she gets to graduate knowing that. She works hard. I really do believe if you're going to do these things, if you're going to win conference championships, sectionals and regionals and semi-states and state, it has to come from your upperclassmen, and it has to start in practice. I think there's the segment during the year where we had to go to these 2. I think your most important people are your guards. No offense, Malia, but that's that's where it starts. Your defensive intensity and your pressure has to come from these 2. And once their intensity and practice picked up, this team went to a whole nother level defensively.
So what does it mean to you to win the Patricia Elroy and Latitude Award whenever there's seniors every year wanting to achieve that? That's yours now. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I didn't really expect to get it, but it happened, so I'm just very thankful for it. Very excited.
A lot of work away from the basketball on the studies and stuff.
Yes.
Where do you plan to take your studies?
I'm not sure yet. I'm still undecided on that part.
Josh, one final question. This is your 100th win. You thought about that yet?
It is my 100th win. I'll be honest with you, I don't look at that stuff, but sure. I guess if it's going to be a state championship, your 100 win, it feels absolutely outstanding. I'm just excited for these guys who we expect so much out of them, and they finally get to this point, and it's paid off.
For Malia, I mean, obviously there was a lot expected of you guys going into the season after what you were able to accomplish last year. Did you guys feel that pressure, and I guess what kind of work did it take to get here, and I guess what's your emotion now? Is it relief now that you've finally been able to get it done?
I think we all kind of felt a lot of pressure. We had some ups and downs during the season where that pressure finally hit us, and we just had to remember that just to play how we normally play, like we don't have to listen to all the outsiders and what they tell us to do because we're the ones on the court, not them. And I think just doing what we normally do and not listening to all of that on the outside and just focusing is what got us here, and listening to our coaches is what got us here, and the feeling is amazing.
This team in general doesn't seem to show a lot of emotion, but when the buzzer sounded, you broke down in tears. Describe that moment for me and just what's going through your mind when that's happening.
There's lots of moments in the game where there's emotions like running high in your head, like, oh, I think we're going to lose, or I think we're going to win. We have very good poise. That was his word. That we like to just be confident in what we're doing during the game, and we like to stay poised until the buzzer sounds. Like, the game's not over until that buzzer sounds, and that's when I think all the emotions just finally let out.
Coach, you switched up defense on Lawrence, switched different people on Lawrence. You switched Malia there late in the fourth quarter. Were you just trying to prevent her from getting the basket?
Not necessarily prevent her from getting to the basket, but we thought if we put someone a little bit taller on her, she'd have to shoot over that, and I think it affected her shot a little bit.
And Coach, tell me, it looked like, especially starting in the second quarter, every time you guys tried to go inside, you were just running into trees there. What adjustments did you make to, open up some shots and kind of avoid those blocks?
Well, here's what we told them. We basically just said, you're going to have to keep going to the basket because those girls aren't going to move. And that's what makes Winchester so dangerous. Man, I hate that defense. But what our game plan was just to try and create as much movement as we could so that their bigs down low, their head would be on a swivel. It's tough to do that on a consistent basis when you play against 6'3", 6 foot, and they're all right in that area where you're trying to go. We knew we were going to have to hit some shots at some point, and I thought we hit just enough shots. But when it comes down to it, I thought we ramped up the pressure a little bit and made them play at a tempo that they didn't want to play, and I thought that was the difference.
Did you think that you were just able to eventually wear them down over the game? It looked like some of the Winchester girls were looking pretty gassed while your girls were moving and flying all over the place.
That's what we wanted to do, and I wasn't sure with all these 90-second timeouts that we were going to be able to do it, but you could see it in that third quarter when we made that little run that Lawrence was struggling and some of their other big girls were struggling. And then Sydney does what Sydney does. She always takes advantage of those situations and becomes a little bit more aggressive.
What's the significance of the NK patches?
He was a trainer for us the last couple of years. Well, he passed away in an accident. Good family friend of mine. We just thought that we would dedicate this season. He was a part of our sectional last year. He was a part of our regional. He was a part of our semi-state appearance. So that's what we put on there. His name is Nate Castelny.
What does Calista mean to you, and what does it mean to be able to send her out with a state championship?
It's just awesome being able to send her out with state championship because she does so much for the team defensively and offensively.
Obviously, the whole town of Bowden was here tonight. What do you think this means to them, and I guess how cool was it to look over and see that section today?
It's just awesome. They always support us in every sport, and I think it's just cool looking over there, and I think it means everything because we're such a small town.
Your dad leads a lot of those cheers. What was it like to look over there every once in a while and see him lead the crowd?
It means a lot. He's always done that growing up as a kid. Like on all my teams, he always got the crowds going and stuff, so I'm pretty used to it, but I think that it kind of gets the crowd involved in the game, not just us, and that hypes us up because it gets our adrenaline going.
Calista, can you talk about the transition from soccer to basketball? Because you go from a sport where everyone is trying to stop you. You are the focal point of every team you play. And then to come here and play a role with this team.
Going from soccer to basketball, it's kind of rough as far as like being in shape and stuff, and it's like completely different because like soccer you're like up and down long distance, and you come basketball then it's like sprint, and then coming in and soccer, leading soccer and helping all the girls out and being like number one on my team, and coming to basketball, and then you have Sid and Malia, and then I'm kind of back up. It's very different, but I just blend. So.
Josh, that takes a very selfless kid
To
be such a star in one sport and to be willing to put team first.
I think this is what this team is all about. I don't think they really care who scores. They accept their role, and they go out and do it to the best of their ability, and that's a positive thing that Calista gives our team is usually when you have a senior, they want to be that focal point, and she understands her role. She has had some unbelievable defensive possessions through this postseason. I think she guarded Lawrence some possessions tonight, did an awesome job. She did an awesome job last week at Semi-State on Frankton's really good guard, Tucker. So those are the things that in our program that seniors do.
What was going through your mind when Sydney had the last bucket late when they tipped it? What was going through your mind?
My mind, well, after it went in, it was a sigh of relief. That was a very stressful 43 seconds. Someone always told me that when the game's on the line, you need to make sure that your players have to go out and make plays. And again, that's a situation that she's been in many times, and she came through again tonight.
I mean, and Professor, you're coaching, but that's something you can't coach.
Oh no. I mean, a lot of these things that these girls do has nothing to do with me. It's the hard work and the effort that they put in the off season to make themselves better. And again, they put those expectations on themselves because this is what we wanted. We wanted to be here today. And there's a lot of sacrifices that I know Sydney makes in the off season. I know there's a lot of sacrifices that Malia makes just so that we have this opportunity to be here.
Coach, you mentioned the defense that Winchester put on. You've seen it all this year. Constant on triangle and two. What did Winchester do, and how did you guys combat it?
Well, here's what they did. At the beginning of the game, it was real simple. 15 didn't play, and that triangle 2 wasn't quite as big. When 15 came back in, it allowed for Lawrence to come up and play that top spot. And these girls would probably tell you better than I could because I wasn't out there playing. There wasn't a whole lot of space for them to do anything. So you have to be disciplined and poised enough to pick your spots. Or you have to really bust your butt defensively and make it more of an up-tempo game. We struggled there in that second quarter because it became more of a Winchester-type game instead of a Central Noble game. Third quarter, then, we ramped up our defense and our rebounding a little bit, and then we took back the momentum. And then that fourth quarter, I just think we just kind of hung around and finished it. So very difficult to play a team like Winchester with all that height. I mean, you can sit here and keep telling the girls, keep attacking. But after the 10th block shot, again, it's on them. They believed and they kept doing it, and they picked their spots, and we made the most of it.
You got Calista as a senior, but for a altogether young group to make those type of adjustments, very impressive.
Thank you. This is all on them. I mean, they go out and they believe and they work hard so that when they get to these moments or these situations, they're ready for them. And I thought tonight was just another game where they adjusted well, they believed in each other, and they got it done.